We have to wait a little longer for the big Cyberpunk 2077 stream that was first set for June 11th and will now happen on June 25th. More important discussions are happening right now and we want them to be heard. And I totally agree with this. The PlayStation 5 event of June 4th was also delayed for this reason, just like many other events. Again, a good call, it's really understandable, but that's not what this video is about. In this video I want to look at some other big news we got regarding Cyberpunk 2077 leading up to this new gameplay reveal. We learned namely way more about the factions in this game, and there are quite a lot. I want to look at gameplay examples that highlight them as well, the future of CD Projekt Red after Cyberpunk, and way more. So a like on the video would be super appreciated, and let's go. You can win Cyberpunk 2077 in my June giveaway for a 2020 game of your choice on your platform of choice. All you need to do is follow the link in the pinned comment for a chance to win. You have to be a subscriber as well if you want to participate, and good luck. I sent an email to the winner of my previous May giveaway, so check your email and I will announce that winner when I hear back. You might have already seen this Reaver custom built Wraith gang vehicle that CD Projekt Red showed on Twitter for the 5th anniversary of Mad Max Fury Road. So yes, inspired by that movie and a variant on the original Quadra Type 66 car that we see right here. And they also used a same brand car in the gameplay reveal, but a Quadra VTech version instead of the 66. We know of course that there are motorcycles in the game as well, and we gotta look at some other cars that we can likely drive in this game, as the world of Cyberpunk 2077 book kind of implies. And I really like the one here on the bottom right. Going back to the Reaver because this is in-game footage, as the Twitter account confirmed. Looking very good, and we see that the car is outside of the big night city. And this is a region called the Badlands, a sort of deserty wasteland that we can explore too, and this is also where we will likely meet the Wraith gang who inhabits this region. CD Projekt Red took it to Twitter to talk about many of the factions that we will find in this game by sharing their logo and also a small story, and we of course already saw some of them in action during the gameplay. The animals were a big focus during last year's E3 show, an aggressive street fighting gang that uses testosterone and animal supplements instead of cyberware, and we saw that this gives them crazy powers, like being able to dash towards you with rapid speed. And this was also showcased during the boss fight against the leader, a heavy character that could still move quick, and I love how she threw her legendary hammer at you, and it seems like we had a small second to pick it up as well. It's interesting how the animals also use tech from other factions, like the turret we saw here that with the melee focused solo playstyle you can destroy and actually use against the enemy. It's Militech weaponry. And they are one of the largest manufacturers of weapons and military vehicles in this world. And we actually saw one of their top of the line rivals in the earlier gameplay trailer that looked very awesome. Placide from the Voodoo Boys gang gives you the mission to raid the animal's hideout and then turns on you. And reading their description, that makes total sense. They are netrunners devoted to uncovering the secrets of the old net and behind the black wall. But also break every rule there is to break, programming viruses that can freeze neural networks. We needed them to find Brigitte, and that of course seemed like a bad idea from the beginning of course, and I'm curious how different choices will impact this mission and if we can outplay the Voodoo Boys as well if we want. Something that seems to be hinted at least during the final encounter of this mission. The enemies we saw in the first gameplay reveal were called Maelstrom, and we will meet them in their factories, the Totentons. And their deal is that they want to improve the weaknesses of the human flesh at all cost. They are really obsessed with that, and it's also very noticeable thanks to the many eyes that they have and other enhanced body parts. And one thing you can do against them is install a virus so they cannot use their weapons anymore, and I really love the look of this. And so far every enemy faction that we've seen has their own distinct look, goal and fighting capabilities. Of course we have to wait and see if it also feels that way after playing the game, but it at least looks very varied. And there are way more factions, like the Valentinos, one of the largest gangs in Night City, who take honor, justice and brotherhood very seriously. And Jackie, who we saw many times in the footage already, was actually an ex-member of this gang, so maybe that will still haunt him in the game. And we as V can, by the way, not join a gang, we will just encounter them in the game. We can, however, have a tattoo of the Mox faction, for example. And this faction was formed after the death of a strip club owner and also an ex-prostitute who treated her workers fairly and defended them from violent clients. So this faction protects working girls and guys. We saw some weapon manufacturers in the weapon vending menu, the Arasaka, Militech and Kang Tao. Arasaka is a family firm from Japan and one of the most influential mega corporations in 2077 because of their weapons and vehicles that police and security forces want. And we see their logo on a skyscraper here. While on the other hand we have Kang Tao, a young Chinese company that is rising to the top of the weapon industry and specializing in smart gun technology. And we already saw that in action in the gameplay reveal with bullets that will follow and track the target, or go to the weak spot of the target, super handy in this specific boss fight. And if you want to read about many of the factions yourself, then I will link to the Cyberpunk Twitter account in the video description, so you can check it out if you want. I really can't wait to take them out on September 17th when the game releases. The game is now in final stages of development, according to CD Projekt Red, and some people will actually be able to get their hands on the game very soon. And this event first seemed planned on June 8th, as already discussed in a previous video, and then likely the impressions will go live around the newswire. But since that newswire was delayed, I would imagine that the hands-on will be moved to a later date as well. And after Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red wants to be working on 2 games at the same time. There will be 3 DLC and 2 big expansions for Cyberpunk, like we saw for The Witcher 3 as well. Apart from that, there should be a team working on a Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer mode that is also kind of its own game. And then another project will very likely be Witcher related, and the tactic they will use is just start with a smaller team, so like 70 to 80 people, and then grow that team over time. So yeah, that's all still very far away. The Cyberpunk multiplayer mode should launch way before this, but it's still interesting to hear about ambitious plans that they are making after this game releases. Totally subscribe if you are new to miss nothing regarding the Cyberpunk 2077 newswire. I will make a big video covering everything you need to know, and of course have way more videos planned as we near the launch and beyond, of course, as well. A like on this video would be super appreciated, and totally check out my previous hands-on preview with The Last of Us Part 2. You don't want to miss this game. You can watch it by clicking on the screen. For now, I will speak to you next time. Stay safe and goodbye.